Bonjour, je m'appelle Ross from Cultaholic.com. You are mon sexual wank pheasants, and this is all of the WTF moments from this week's WWE Raw. As you can hear from that, after my little jaunt to Amsterdam, I now speak fluent Dutch. And as you can see by the fact I haven't shaved, I haven't fully recovered from that little jaunt to the zoo and the sex shop. So we kick things off with Kurt Angle, who believes that Roman Reigns' suspension still being enforced is bad news. Well, I've got some bad news for you, Kurt Angle, because it's good news. Because the overwhelming majority of the WWE Universe believe that Roman Reigns is a numpty and they should indeed pass it on. I, however, think he's a delight. Signs, the first one reads, Ross is my base. Since Ross Geller from Friends' career is dead, I'm going to claim that one for myself. And second of all, even though his career is dead as well because he cancelled Adam Paci's appearance on his own show, Matthew Wright is still a numpty and you should still pass it on. But most importantly of all, join them in taking Cultaholic related signs to WWE events and in the process, join us. And next up we have Roman Reigns, who claims to have made a lot of memories up inside Texas, and it had me all like, what the hell? No, hold up. Now, I was at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas, and that match that Roman Reigns had with Triple H wasn't a memory you would want to remember. Easy for me to say. It's the sort of memory that would just come back to penetrate your brain when you would least expect it, just like when you're out in public and you're a fully grown adult and you piss and poo your pants at the same time. People were booing at WrestleMania 32, people were walking out at WrestleMania 32. That match at WrestleMania 32 was a part of Roman Reigns' life that he shouldn't want to remember because that match bombed. If he was a big cat on that night, I'm sure he would have lost one of his 9 lives, but he's a dog, so he didn't. And now it's time for this.
Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank.
Just like on Blankety Blank, you fill in the blanks. Wankety Wank is the section of WTF moments where a sexual wank pheasant tweets me with a WTF moment I have missed from an episode of WWE's programming, and I give them all the credit because I'm a lovely man. Thank you to Jesse David, who points out that what Roman Reigns did to those US Marshals was a Class 1 felony. He should have been arrested on the spot and thrown into jail for around 20 years. And I quote, since Roman is a professional wrestler, he is automatically charged with assault with a deadly weapon. He is the deadly weapon, sadly, under federal law. Minimum 20 years in prison, apparently. Otherwise known as the pound to you and I, because he is a dog. Who knows, maybe in the future we'll get to see Roman on one of my favourite shows in the entire world, Pitbulls and Parodies, because he fits the description of both. He's a dog and a massive crim. So Roman Reigns was taken to the vets after he's beaten down by Brock Lesnar, even though he was arrested just before that beatdown happened. Now, I have been in Clink over here in Newcastle upon Tyne on many occasions after a night out in the big market, and the amount of injuries you see in that waiting room beggars belief. You do not get to skip being arrested because you have a boo-boo. You are sat down in that chair and left to bleed to death. So why did Roman Reigns get away with his arrest here? It still pissed me. I don't. Maggle, 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 maggle. And next up we have Maggle Cole, who claims that he hasn't seen a more cold-hearted, abhorrent, senseless or premeditated attack on WWE Raw ever. I mean, where the hell do you start there? There's been more cold-hearted, abhorrent, senseless and premeditated attacks on WWE Raw while Maggle Cole has been on WWE Raw than there has Maggle Cole screaming the big dog every single time that Roman Reigns appears at the top of the ramp. And that's happened a grand total of 346,412 times now. And then we have Jonathan Coachman, who claims that Brock Lesnar's beatdown on Roman Reigns is the most brutal beatdown we've seen on Raw in a very long time, mere weeks after WWE named their Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal after the not-so-famous Fabulous Moolah. I don't know about you, but I felt abused and really sick when I first saw that Battle Royal's name, and I'm so happy it's changed. How stupid can Mickie James be? We have Alexa Bliss claiming she used Nia Jax to get to where she is today, yet Mickie James is standing literally where Nia Jax once stood, yet she is grinning and smiling like a Cheshire cat, oblivious to what is coming her way in the very near future, presumably. There's only one phrase to describe Mickie James here, and that is hardcore numpty. Now, many of the things Alexa Bliss said about Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss said about Mickie James, according to Maggle Cole. I don't think so, pal. Hey, now, Maggle Corey Graves is the one who loves to moonlight as Norris off Coronation Street, not you. I guess that makes Michael Rita from the corner shop or something. Alexa never claimed that Mickie looked like Shrek. Alexa never claimed that getting rid of Mickie was like lifting 300 pounds of sadness off her shoulders. Alexa called Mickie James old, and that's all there is to it. And anyway, Mickie James wasn't even offended because in riposte, all she did was compliment Alexa on the shape of her arse. I don't know about you, but Cesaro saying that he and Sheamus sleeps together certainly gives new meaning to Swiss roll. Double team, screams Maggle Cole as Apollo hits a double drop kick by himself on both members of the Revival. That's the exact opposite to a double team, Maggle. If the Revival, for example, hit the Shatter Machine on Apollo, then that's a double team move. Two girls going on one cup, that's a double team. The one cup doesn't go on the two girls at all. Made a grave mistake. And this time, Corey Graves claims that titles worldwide have a 64% chance of winning in arenas where they are named after a cellular service company. Now, Corey might as well have said that Titus Worldwide have a 64% chance of winning inside a hair salon named after Stone Cold Steve Austin, because that was just as relevant as the point that he made. This is because, of course, Raw last night emanated from Dallas, Texas in the American Airlines Arena, which is an arena named after an American airline, apparently. Aye, look, it's my good pals off the YouTube. It's Steven, Newcastle United fullback Jesus Gomez. It's not what you did, it's how you did it. That's official, and Sasha Banks and Bayley have been married for 20 long years. Who knew? When I heard Jonathan Coachman claim there's no joke in Sonya Deville's game, I was flabbergasted, because her gimmick is quite literally comedy giants Mike Myers and D'Lo Brown wrapped up in a female UFC fighter. You must have seen it too. Her "yeah baby" taunt is all kinds of laughs, which means she can kick your ass when you're least expecting it. Maggle Cole, how on earth can the upcoming Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania be the first ever when there was quite literally a Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania 25? Oh, aye, that's because your company treated that women's division nothing more than a joke. Back then, every single woman involved in that division was billed as a piece of eye candy, and even though there were superstars like Melina, Michelle McCool, Gail Kim, and Beth Phoenix involved, they're somehow WWE's dirty little secret because you don't like to mention them today. And there's the cover by the boss. Maggle says, "No, pal, that's a tag. A tag, you dick." That moment when they use a soundbite from Corey Graves from the Revival's Raw debut to get over how important the other main event at WrestleMania 34 between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles is. Yes, Corey says, "You ain't fooling me, sucker," I say.
It's Johnny Clunkers, he's there!
Today's the day you make peace between you and Michael Cole. Michael Cole and John Cena have the Heatingtons between one another. But every single week on Raw, John walks out, he walks towards the announce table. Michael Cole waves back as if he was a little girl who had just seen one of those One Directioners. I wonder what's gone on there, like. Large bow, Jonathan, you've got it all wrong, pal. He's not in hiding because he's embarrassed, you pillock. He's in hiding because he had a hip replacement last year, and he might just be retired because he's a very old man. Him not replying to you isn't disrespectful because you're John Cena and he's some lowly jobber called The Undertaker. It's because he's called The Undertaker, and if one man can be disrespectful to you, it's the bloody Undertaker. Now, I know John twists this onto The Undertaker disrespecting the fans, but the fact that he mentioned himself first proved that he is indeed the egotistical bastard he claims The Undertaker is. And then John Cena claims that The Undertaker has been doing the Grappletons as The Undertaker for 40 years. It's 28, pal. Doctor of Thugonomics, numpty of mathematics. And then Kane came out, old Mayor Bollocks himself, and he chokeslammed John Cena, which was a lovely moment because it told me that Kane's backstage at Raw every single week, yet this week he decided he could be asked to get off his arse, come out of the ring and chokeslam somebody. Good one, Mayor Bollocks. No, Maggle Cole, Roman Reigns will not be challenging for the Universal Championship in 3 weeks at WrestleMania 34. He'll be starting a 20-year jail sentence. LOL. The parents of that man there are utter bastards. Imagine naming your son after your favourite sports team. Would be like me naming my favourite little cherub Newcastle United. He would be bullied for the rest of his life or lauded like a king. Whoa. I tell you what, it's a fine line I'm not willing to get close to be honest. Now, The Miz calling your boy Finn Balor Prince Nevitt, referring to Prince Devitt, of course, is probably the best thing I've ever heard, because I guarantee that every single one of you at home exploded in a fit of rage, and I love that. Don't worry though, because New Japan Pro Wrestling expert and dominatrix fetishist Sam Driver has informed me that Prince Devitt not being used on a WWE show is fine, because Prince Devitt is probably trademarked by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, I'm going to keep bringing this up until it's changed. As a fat bastard myself, I am offended that somebody is shredded as Finn Balor is trying to steal me thunder. It's not his real neck, man. Change it for Christ's sake. The F's back in, and so is a lawsuit from the zoo people, presumably. I'm not arrogant, I just know I'm the best. Tell that to Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes, pal. And Ronda, nobody's offended by the confidence of a woman. I am just offended because I thought you were on the babyface team at WrestleMania, not part of the deluded heels in the McMahon family. And next up we have Michael Cole being utterly flabbergasted that a boat has a name. Who names boats, right? It's not as if the Titanic was a thing and every other vessel in the world has a bloody name, is it, you dick? Now, I hope that WWE having Michael Cole roll his eyes at everything to do with the Ultimate Deletion before it actually happened was a clever ploy on their part. I hope they were thinking that the fans would see him rolling his eyes and think, hey, if that dweeb is rolling his eyes, we'll probably like it. I just don't understand why you'd have your lead announcer bury something that is very different to anything WWE fans have seen before it's even happened. What the hell is that? Bray said, and no wonder, because there's pyro on a WWE show in 2018, which means you need to grab 2 each channel and head for the Bastard Supporter.
The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh, nigh.
A quick reminder to everybody that this time last year, Randy Orton committed arson, desecration of a grave, and murder of an unassuming cameraman on WWE television. Never forget, yes, good. And with that, those horrible memories of the House of Horrors match have been deleted. The ultimate deletion was everything that should have been and more, and I guess the WTF moment here is that WWE actually allowed that thing to be a thing in the real sense of that thing. Rather than making it their own like they do with just about everything else on their television shows, they've clearly let Matt Hardy run with this idea, and that is the best idea for the business. I want to kill myself now. Good one, goodbye. And that's it for all of your WTF moments from this week's WWE Raw. Je m'appelle Ross, tu est mon sexual wank pheasant. Bonjour. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Ross on Wrestling. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic.com, please head over to our Patreon page. There's treats, there's goodies, there's all kinds. We'll appreciate anything you can give us. It'll be reiterated into many different things to keep providing the lovely content that you desire. But most importantly of all, do not forget to join us on everything but Vine.